Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vermin Sermon. Today, I want to talk very briefly on something that we meant to talk about earlier, but we never quite got around to it. Some time ago, Burnout Paradise Remastered's Switch port had a leak of its price and its launch date, and I wanted to see if it was real, so I took out my actual Switch, and I did see it there. They took it down, but now recently they actually fully announced the price and the release date. So it comes out June 19th, 2020, and it's $50. That is a lot of money for a game that came out 2 years ago, for a game that was based off of something that came out many, many years ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now I don't know. Now
That's
I
the
really don't.
Nintendo tax.
Yeah, that is, and their cartridges are very expensive to manufacture. Although I don't know if this will even be a game on a cartridge. But if they do, then the digital and physical releases have to have the same pricing. It's one of their policies. All that good stuff. I don't know if I'd be willing to pay $50 for a game I own what 3-4 times already.
Jesus, it's 50. Oh god, it's 50 US for the fucking Switch variant of.
Yeah, I know. It's
Well, to be fair, they always do that. Have you noticed that it's this game, but for the Switch, it's like, bro, please lower it, because that game
yeah.
is like, and it's always a game that's been released for over 5 years. Everyone has on multiple platforms, like, bro, well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
get it for
I
just Switch.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm still tempted just because I love the game so much, but that would just be so irresponsible with my money.
It's so irresponsible.
It would be,
Oh god, if
but
you
I
were talking about
want it.
irresponsible.
Like I feel
Oh,
like the little like a 12-year-old kid who's excited for video games and all that stuff because I've lost
to be
that
fair, that
part
is
of
a nice
passion
feeling.
completely.
That is a really nice feeling. I really don't feel that anymore. Games,
Yeah.
I'm just numb.
Yeah, the only games I'm excited for. Well, I was excited for that. The prices, I got to think about that now. And then SpongeBob, of course, I'm getting that. But I
Oh,
know there are other games that a lot of people are excited for, like Cyberpunk, etc. It's not for me. But
my
maybe
thing
maybe I'll
is,
get it.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know. I fairly. That's the thing. It's either like, oh, this is like my shit, or it's like not in the slightest. I actually can't tell. Like, I really
Yeah.
like the aesthetic of it. Would I like the games? I don't know. It's one of
Yeah,
those things.
it's
That's hard.
yeah, and for me, it's not my main stuff, so I can't, you know, like I know a lot of you guys and some of my other friends played a lot of racing games growing up, but then also played a lot of Call of Duty, Halo, and then other types of games, GTA, etc. But I was mainly on racing games, almost exclusively, except platformers and other stuff growing up. But so because of that, it just wouldn't. I think I'm gonna wait until Cyberpunk is half off, and then I think it'll be a really good game for that because I trust CD Project Red. They're a very respectable developer and all that,
To
or
be fair, you'd be able
publisher
to get it
rather.
quite cheap
Or
anyway.
wait,
Yeah, I
because
didn't sound
I,
like
I I'm
you
tripping. I'm
know that.
tripping. Do they make or do they publish games? I don't know.
They're both now.
I'm a
Yeah,
fraud.
we're talking
I'm
about
fake. I don't know
we're
anything
talking
about the
about
industry.
I'm fake. No, we're talking
All
about
right.
the
No,
Switch thing.
I
I
just hope it
found an
doesn't get
old
delayed.
conversation with the
Oh, what were you
boys, and it
saying,
was
Sol?
essentially like,
I just hope it doesn't get delayed for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that would be
They
really
they took the
did
hammer,
it
but
devastating.
already get
imagine.
delayed?
I know, but imagine if it does again at the last. I'll
Mm,
cry.
But that's an indefinite delay, isn't it? It's like, who knows?
yeah.
We'll hit you when
Oh
it's
my
good.
gosh. All right. So I guess that's out of the way. Sol, recently you experienced Google Stadia because they are releasing it for free, and then I could not be bothered to try it out. So what was your experience like?
Well, basically, like a few years ago, not many people have heard of of something called online, which was the same kind of thing, but done by a very small company compared to Google. It actually did quite well, in my opinion. There was a proper community. The games and the service ran were really well, and it was quite what's that word? had quite like a decent following behind it until Sony bought them out like a few years ago
Mm.
and used them for the streaming service now. So then when I went into this, obviously before people saying it's shit, some people saying it's good, and I was like, why not try it out? It's free. I got quite a bit of time in my hand,
Yeah,
so I was
yeah.
glad to try the new Grid because it's a game that I wanted to try as well as the service how good it was. And when I first loaded up, I was like, oh shit, it's really bad because there's
Yeah.
like the screen every few seconds, and a 4K monitor is running at like 360p or something that
Oh,
I'd be used to like 20 years ago, which is stupid. It makes no sense.
yeah.
Oh, but then the first time I couldn't even get past the first race, so I quit the game and tried again. It's still a bit shit. But then the third day, I think about a week later, it actually ran kind of smooth at 480p at
Mm.
around 60 FPS.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I just realized that it's not bad, but it's nothing special. And then I just canceled my subscription because I realized like
You know,
I don't want to get charged for it. And I thought it's not all that compared to what some smaller companies have done back in the day at a
yeah.
way high quality. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for other people, just to reiterate, On Live was a company. They basically were one of the first few to do cloud gaming of any sort, from what I can tell. And so it's unfortunate that they're defunct. But now we have Google Stadia, GeForce Now, and soon Xbox Game Pass will have like a thing in it so that you have XCloud bundled with it or something. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah,
Um,
I've tried out xCloud and tried out Nvidia. Both of them are solid compared to Stadia. Stadia is garbage, even though it's owned by a company that makes billions, and I'm guessing I put quite a bit of decent money to it. So I don't get what the
yeah,
problem is. And I know it's on my internet because it's solid and it's way above the recommended, which is like I think 20 megabits or something for like 1080p.
something like that.
So if I couldn't even do the first race in a racing game, like I don't know what's going on because online was a tiny company and I only use it because the computer time was a shitty Pentium single core from 2005, and that
Yes.
game was
Either
solid. I could
way,
even play it. I could even play it on my phone on the Xperia Play. I was playing
Okay,
Splinter
that's
Cell.
pretty cool.
I was playing Splinter Cell with some friends, and these guys can't even do a racing game first race.
Yeah, that's
that's a bit
that's
fucked.
ridiculous. Yeah,
That's a bit mince.
I
You
mean,
you just remind me of Soul when you said the GE4 thing. Didn't they fuck off like all the dudes by saying like you didn't have to buy games twice, so if you already had on one platform, you could have on the other.
Yeah,
I
but I'm
think so.
guessing.
Yeah.
I think
And 2K games wound up pulling out because of that.
Yeah, it's
a lot of
Like
games,
really.
a
that's
lot, a
dumb.
lot, a lot of games have removed because allegedly they never asked them like for permission. But I
Oh,
think they just want to make money themselves, make their own platforms, because no one's really losing anything. They're just making the games that they purchased from the Steam library available to them. But
hmm.
that's just my take, man.
I don't know. And here's the thing. Maybe Google Stadia was decent, half decent at its best for you, out of the few times that you tried it. But that doesn't mean it's acceptable when it's not, and you don't know when it is or when it isn't. It's just not reliable enough. And I can understand if some people have a really great experience with it, but what if you log on to play the next day and it's garbage again? Now what? Now you
Honestly,
just have
I
to
wouldn't. I
suffer.
wouldn't say. Honestly, I
Yo,
wouldn't
that's
say that it
real
was
bad. That's
half decent.
inconsistency.
It was
That's
like
the
a
worst.
third. It's like a third
Streaming
decent
platform.
because I'm playing on a high-end computer where like that's about 20, 100, few hundred times faster than what I use my computer with online with. The internet is about again 5 6 times faster than what we used to have, and it ran like shit. And if you can't do the first introductory races of a game, I don't get the point of it. Cause,
Yeah.
and I'm sure like from reviewers and all that kind of stuff on YouTube and on the internet, people think you're shit, and they got even faster stuff than me, like with gigabit internet and stuff in between. So
Yeah. So I'm
fundamental
assuming
flaw.
that. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm assuming that what's
Yeah,
going
that's
on
it.
here is some kind of an issue on their end with their servers. So you have a solid connection to them, but then the way they're dishing out data, I don't know, is messed up. That's really unfortunate. But honestly, I don't know why everyone is so amped about cloud gaming when we're very, very clearly not ready for it yet. There are so many
Also,
parts of the country that are, well, I mean, speaking about the U.S. specifically that don't have internet, and then let alone the rest of the world and the third world countries, you know, it's not. Let's try to get people connected all across the world first before we try to, you know, profit off of buying video games that you don't actually own because it's on some server hardware. You know, the whole concept is just a little bit ridiculous to me. Not because of what it is, but because of when it's happening. It now is not the time. They
So,
need more
I've
time.
got a few more points I can add to that.
Oh, go ahead.
Obviously, with the pandemic happening now, our internet has been like it's now
Yeah.
really it's quite saturated, and it's been kind of failing on a number basis because obviously ISPs are probably not used to the kind of
Have you heard? They literally said we don't have enough bandwidth for the world.
Yeah.
Like when this first started happening, they were like, we really have to re-up right now, or
Yeah.
else
It's
the servers are
ridiculous.
gonna crash.
So then maybe that could
That's
be another
hilarious.
effect into where Stadia is a bit shit, but also like it was kind of a bit bad before then, and with stuff like people saying, oh, cloud gaming is now, it's really not because only about a bit more than half the world right now, 57% of the entire population has internet access. So like it'd be kind of useless like until the whole world, or at least like more than 99% of the world has internet access for
Yeah, and
cloud
then
gaming to become useful.
and not only that, suppose that the the overwhelmingly vast majority of the world has internet, but how much, like, what would the percentage be for reliable internet and fast, both reliable
Oh
and
god.
fast internet?
Well,
You know how long that would take?
Australia, they're fucked. Australia is fucked because their shit's still in the caveman era. Like we crawled out of that shit in like 2015. Like
Man.
I went from 5 down to optic fiber.
Oh,
Like
okay.
that wasn't a jump and a half. Let me tell
Holy.
you.
Internet light speed.
When Need for Speed 2015 dropped, right?
Yeah.
I played it the same day as everyone else, but that's because it took me a day to download. Like I could have played it a day
Oh,
earlier
wow.
because if it was quicker. No, it took me a whole day to download. Like I was just at school and I just left
Yeah.
early because I got the notification on my phone. I was like,
Yo,
fuck this school,
imagine-
bitch, I'm going home.
imagine-
I'm driving home.
Imagine, right? You, like, we were living life just as things are. We're super excited that Need for Speed goes back to street racing. Oh, it's always online. Oh, my internet connection's not good enough. Can't play it. Imagine.
Yeah, do you remember the beta?
Oh my gosh.
God, do you remember the beta for 2015?
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
play
Yes. Yes.
That shit was woo.
Oh,
That was
wow.
patch at best, bro. You got kicked so much. I'm like,
Yeah.
Eric, connected with online services. I'm like, bro, this is the 50th time this has happened to me in like an hour. I'm just gonna put this down.
Oh wow. Yeah, I couldn't imagine if that was the case. But
It
luckily,
was rough.
luckily I was fortunate enough to have good enough internet. But what I described has happened to at least one person. It has happened. Someone who's really excited.
I also went to add that like our internet is pretty shit around the
That was
world.
me. That was me.
Even in like first world countries, like a few days ago, Virgin Media, one of the biggest ISPs in the UK, millions of people were cut off for like I think a few days, and after that it went a bit better, but it was still shit for tens of thousands of people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
just
just
I just thought about
unacceptable.
it, right? You know
No,
how
go on,
like
go on.
this corona shit's flipped the world. What do
Yeah.
you think would happen if internet just like crashed for like 3 months? I think some people would fucking actually lose their minds. Some people go
Okay.
psychotic.
They become apes, man. We, like regress back, I think.
No,
Dude,
no,
like
I
I wouldn't be
don't
able
think
to
shut
do
up.
like any college coursework and stuff like that. That would be the first thing. I'm like, wait, how am I gonna graduate now?
No, 'cause
Eventually, I just push classes back. But
Oh no! If we're in the midst of this corona shit and the internet dropped, I think people would actually fucking go insane.
yeah, some people would. They have
Yeah,
too
I
much
mean,
People would
dependence
do
on it.
that.
You can see kind of crazy stuff that's happening right now in the other different realms of society.
Yeah,
But if you want
and,
to talk about
you know,
craziness, what about Canada? What the hell happened there?
inform me. I've been out of the
I have
loop.
no idea.
Oh, there's like a shooting, killed 25.
Oh yeah, and then
They're
they
banning
banned.
ARs now.
Yes, okay, I do remember. Yeah, they banned like
Fucking
what
hell.
1,500 or something like that overnight, and then they said, oh, you can You can, if you please give us your guns back, but you don't have to if you don't want to, something like that.
I kind of
So
like
it's
that.
just like, who's gonna actually follow that? I don't know. I don't know how we're on this topic of this.
Let me tell you, when they did that Christchurch shit, right? Right, and they were trying to go doors to collect guns, bro. What the smart dudes were doing here, where they were making kind of non-working ARs from airsoft platforms. Like they'd put the gas chamber in, but it wouldn't work in anything, and they'd hand them over, and they still had their real ARs.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, they were doing some finesses here.
Oh, but that's quite a messed up situation. Quite sad that this shit can happen even at a time like this when they're supposed to be like helping each other and being part of a bigger thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. I don't know, man. It's ridiculous. And actually, Stadia, what you said about if people didn't have internet for about 3 months, that reminds me. I have some friends actually who don't have internet, just period, just at all, just normally. They straight up just don't have internet, but because they didn't have a reliance on the internet for entertainment or anything, doesn't, they wouldn't go insane. So I think it's more telling
What do they do for it? What do they do outside of it?
Oh, well, like, I guess they wouldn't be able to do much outside now because, the whole virus, but they're one of my friends, one of them who doesn't have internet, he like plays a lot of football and also like I don't know. They just do a lot of like normal people stuff. Some years back, before the norm was sitting in front of your computer screen for 16 hours.
Yeah, let me tell you about this though. My internet went down for like 3 months, and I pretty much just hung out with the boys and we just did shit for like 3 months.
That's just...
we
still do. Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
Excessively.
Man, this podcast has been all over the place. All right, let's get to the next. Wait, let's go. Let's get to the next one. There is something going on about Battlefield 5 not being very successful at all. What happened there? I've been out of the loop because I've been busy as of late.
Okay, I'll start from it. I don't know too much about it because I haven't owned the game, but I've seen like now they've dropped the port for that as well as the news, as well as Star Wars Battlefront 2 because they want to focus on the new games, and I'm guessing they want to cut the losses a bit. From what I've seen, the sentiment is with Star Wars Battlefield 2, people are quite happy because it's been in a quite decent space, especially when upgrading it quite a lot and making it the way it was meant to be at release. But then with Battlefield, people saying, "What the hell is barely like getting to the solid stage," and apparently there's some issues with it, but I can't talk about that too much. So I guess people are just pissed off at the company for skipping them and just doing the next game,
man,
which is coming out next year.
How they feel about what we feel when Need for Speed 2015 is getting updates and updates. I'm like, man, it's gonna get really close to an actual decent game, then support gets cut off, and then Payback comes around right when they add online free roam, and then it gets cut off, and then with Heat, or who, the video game, we don't know what's going on right now. There hasn't been an update in months, and it could possibly be that we get one more and that's just it. We're done.
Wait, what's happening with Newsfeed?
Like there are some people assuming that after they do one more update, they're just gonna like, okay, that's it, we're done, and let's just move. Because if you look at the timeline, if they haven't already, that's the thing.
Haven't they chopped that game off months ago?
No.
Bro,
after the
Ghost got slam dunked into the ground.
Yeah, and then we were assuming that Criterion's just gonna try to revive it, but then I don't know. So
Criterion looks at it what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah,
let's leave that one.
I really don't know what's going on there, but yeah, it's just a part of game development. Right when you think, oh, I could see how this could be fixed, you're like, wait a minute, this is a big funded AAA title, one of which the publishers don't care and the developers may or may not care. So just lose all hope and just wait for the next game to pay $60 again to get disappointed because you don't know how to be responsible with your money. That is the life of a Need for Speed player. Let's
Holy
go.
shit! I love how you
Yep.
said that not only is a joke, it's that
I
sounded
honestly
like
agree with
was
that.
like
No,
that's
I'm
just
being
all used
serious.
out there. Yeah, no, he is, and that's the thing. He's like, that's all used out there, and that's also fucking me, mate. I
Yeah,
bought
it's
it too.
also me. No, I'm an idiot because
Listen.
okay, here's what happens. 2015 comes out. It's trash, but I love it, right? It's a polished turd. It's beautiful and disgusting at the same time. They get updates, then support gets cut off. Boom, payback. It's a little weird, but okay, that's cool. I like the last game, so I'll buy it. Full price. I like it for a very, very short period of time, and then I'm like, wow, this game is trash. Then, 2 years go by, Heat, and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna get excited for this game. I know what happened last time. Bought it full price. And look at what happened.
Oh,
Look at what
I was
happened.
in that.
Look at what
No, I
happened,
didn't do
man.
that.
I'll
I didn't
be.
buy that full price.
Yeah,
So
you see.
let me shout out real quick allkeyshop.com, please sponsor us 'cause I actually do support you guys. Because fuck these
Yes.
bitch ass
Yes.
these shit fucking triple A
$60.
games. That shit should be double A. That thing lasted me like 5 hours. That
No,
double A.
not double A.
So-
It wouldn't be like quarter A. It's like he honestly
Oh, no,
in the it-
quarter A is Resident Evil 3's remake. I played that shit through.
Isn't it like 5 hours or something?
I pirated that shit. I didn't. Ahoy!
doesn't Resident Evil 3
Because I heard,
really
like,
shit.
Nice.
Like, you know,
Wow.
the game's like, oh, this is good. And some other people were like, bro, it takes an hour to finish. The original game on PS1 from 21 years ago took like 5. Like, what
Bro.
happened?
Yeah, that's
Like, they cut
ridiculous.
out 5 different levels from that game because I played the
That's
original one.
just
And
not
the
acceptable.
Nemesis, they ruined the way that Nemesis works. Like, he just like kind of jump scares you and shit, which is boring. In the old game, he used to constantly pursue you, so you'd be chilling, like looking through rooms, and then you hear the Nemesis music start up, and you see the fucker crouch through and walk through the door frames, like yo, wait, oh shit, now I'm gonna have to like loop him around.
Like what the
Like,
fuck?
it was sick. That game was fucking mince.
Yeah.
I think we can just say that games have just been quite not all of them, but a few games have just become
Fun
lazy
fact
and
about
shit.
the Resident Evil 3 remake, there was in the old Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, there was a mode called Mercenaries, right?
Mhm.
And it was honestly more popular than the actual game. And it wound up becoming the basis for shooting and shit in Resident Evil 4 and 5.
Okay.
They
That's
literally
interesting.
turned the fundamentals of that mini game into the next game. Like,
That's
it
ridiculous.
revolutionized shooting. Like, Resident Evil 4, the Metacritic ratings for that is like horrifying, like, and the normal critic ratings. Like, that game was so acclaimed.
You know,
And
I think.
and the
sorry,
functions from that came from a side mini game in the game before, which
Yeah.
is and they didn't even include it.
That is a little ridiculous. But what I was
I
gonna
did
say
that
is,
shit multiplayer, didn't they?
Say what?
Oh, and to
That-
touch on just this real quick. To touch on, you know how we say games are getting easier and easier progressively.
Yeah.
Well, they made Resident Evil 3 easier. They removed all the hard puzzles, like that make the game unique. They removed like the
think
they just make
puzzle, the statue
To pander
puzzles,
to
like,
the younger audience, people who just don't want to have challenging games, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's because
Yeah.
there's this idea that, well, not really an idea. I would say it's factual. You're gonna make more money by making a game that more people can play. That might mean you're sacrificing the quality of the game because if there's less challenge because it's more accepting and more acceptable for someone who's younger to be able to play it, if that makes any sense. But hey, that's what people are doing because money's cool.
Exactly.
And they want money. That is welcome to game development. All right. So I wanted to bring up very briefly, without spoilers, the situation with The Last of Us 2. So if people don't know, some developer leaked a lot of stuff about The Last of Us 2. We're not going to spoil it. So if you haven't heard, that's fine. But we'll just say the stuff is rather polarizing to some people, and some people are not upset. And I want to know about your guys' reactions. If you guys want to know the full details of it, you can look them up if you want to, but be aware, obviously, leaks are leaks. So if you don't want the game spoiled to you, don't do that. So I'll start with my opinion. I do not care. because I have not played the first game, because I have not bought the first game, nor will I buy nor play the second. The end. You guys.
Okay, I want to stop. First of all, I'm the same boat with you and never played the first game, but it does look pretty cool and the concept of the gameplay. Because I never had I had a console at the time, so I just never did it. But my brother did and said he really liked it. So
Mhm.
then I thought like maybe if this one's good, I can get a PS5 in the future and play it as back compat. But then
Mm.
I have to think that the leaks is quite polarizing to some people. Some
Yeah.
people hate it, so some people say it's fine. Some people say it panders to certain beliefs and all that.
Hmm.
This,
Hmm.
and some people just again indifferent. My take is, yeah, that they probably have ruined it for some people, but then again, remember these are just some bullet points. You haven't played the game. There's a lot in between,
A
and it
lot
could
in
turn out
between.
better than seen. Like I'm pretty sure there've been some similar things in the past where it's fine. And also as an update, Sony actually found the leaker, and apparently it's nothing to do with the actual developer or
Oh, I did not know
Sony
that.
themselves. So it could be maybe a dodgy QA tester or something
Okay.
like that. But again, there's not much information on that, so I can't say much. But it's just a weird situation, man. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything.
You know,
But like I've seen on the internet, some people will like say, "Oh, it saved me $60. I'm happy with that." I'll just wait till they get heavy discount. I won't play it because they made it redacted and so on. You know what
yes.
I mean?
Yeah. No, that I think is ridiculous. Um, now I will say, while I'm not buying the game, it doesn't have anything to do with the leaks. I could understand like frustration if you find out about the leaks and whatnot, but I just I see both sides of what people are saying, but not to the extent. I see what people are saying when it seems as if they're pandering to people. But I don't see why that would mean that you wouldn't want to buy the game anymore. That you haven't played the game. The whole game is still left out there for you to play, figure out if it's a good game or not, you know? Yeah, I guess some parts of the plot are there and whatnot, but I don't know. I just don't get it. It just seems like,
Yeah.
it reminds me of there was some indie title where they had some flag hidden in a level, and the flag was like one of those like something was like maybe trans rights or a different flag, and people got upset about that. Like imagine you're having a good time playing a good game that's made well and works well, and you're just having a blast, and then you turn around and you see this hidden thing that's not shoved in this hidden little visual detail that doesn't affect gameplay at all, and you're like, man, I wish I'd never bought this game anymore. Like, who are you, man? Like, I didn't even know people like that existed in this planet. That's just
Thing is that
ridiculous. This is what that
people
reminds me of a
people
little bit.
will always cry about something.
Yeah.
Like even if it was the opposite of what's allegedly been like in the story, like
Yeah.
people would say hatred, oh, it's to this, it's to that. And besides, from the leaks, people say the actual gameplay itself is solid, and from what the demos we've had, solid. Like it's one of probably one of the most what's that word, polished type of games you could get from a studio like that. So
Mm.
again, it could be good. And as I said before, only seen like, well, most of the story is summarized, but again, not a lot in between, so it could link together better as a game.
Yeah, I don't understand the outrage. And maybe the part of the reason is because it wasn't one of the games I was really highly anticipating, because it just wasn't one of the ones I was going to get. Uh I was actually no, I was actually thinking about maybe getting the first and the second game, The Last of Us, just because I've heard only pretty much only good things about it, and the leaks they don't make a difference to me, but yeah, I don't know, it's a little weird, but that's what that is. I really don't have anything else to say. Anything else you guys want to add?
I got I got
It's just
one more.
like
Actually, I'll go on after you.
it
You
was.
go on.
It was like the subject I said before. Like, what if we could pick a price we would all be willing to pay? Like, if you had say a group of 100 for like a AAA game,
Mm.
and because the standard industry is 60, I wonder what these prices actually would be. Because GTA GTA 5 might be a little above. That's been
Yeah.
above the standard of anything. They give you so much. But
Yeah.
then there's like Heat, which to be fair, I paid 20 NZ for that bitch. Like
Yeah. You know,
that was worth, to be fair. A 20? Fuck.
yeah. But like games like The Last of Us, they do have a lot of effort and time and money put into them. So I don't know. I think that it deserves the standard pricing, even if it were to be able to fluctuate. I think it's usually they make good $60 experiences. Um, that's all I gotta say. So now another completely random subject change. Hotshots Racing is an indie game that was announced some time ago. I think it was called Apex Racing or something else some time ago. And there have been some problems that have been not covered by a whole lot of people. And if I look here, there's this one server where I got some information on it. They had 4-player split screen in their trailer, but they faked it. They completely faked it. If you see in the actual trailer, I believe they have some mismatching details and other stuff. And then some people who were able to preview the game did notice that 4-player co-op was not in the game. And they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna add it in later. Okay, fair enough, but that's a little sus, and that's not saying the whole story with this game. They've been delaying it for years. From what I'm getting, they had it. What was it, like in 2017 under when it was called Apex Racing or something like that? No, 2018, and then it didn't happen, and then nothing happened in 2019, and then oh, it's Hot Shots Racing now, and then they're not announcing anything or a reveal date for the actual game launch. So that's a little weird. I was kind of looking forward to it just as another racing game to have on the Switch, and also something that's a little bit fresh, kind of. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. Just why lie about 4-player split screen? Just sort it out, make a trailer, and send it out later. It's not like it impacted anything because they didn't tell us anything extremely important at that point in time, right? So the trailer, they could have just delayed it after they got 4-player co-op. I don't know. It's their choice, but there you go. What do you guys have to say about it?
It sounds like they want to rely on live service again, to be honest with you. Or just
Yeah.
getting more early players, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like this trend of releasing a half-baked game for full price and then just patching it up
This is a
later.
bit different, but I think Super Street did the same thing. That said, in the next year we're going to add some more car models and stuff like that, and they never did, and people still hoped. It's probably a similar tactic, but I can't say 100% because they might actually deliver it at launch or something. I don't know. I'm not into it, and I haven't looked into the Top Shot racing game.
Yeah, I don't really know. It's a weird one. I haven't, because usually when something like this happens, I expect there to be a big backlash and people find out about it, and then it's like, oh wow, they faked this. But it's it's an indie game, and wow, there are some dedicated fans, which is odd because I'm getting some of this information from this one guy I know who's really, really, really looking forward to this game because he's been following it since it was called Apex. But the game hasn't come out yet, so how are you a fan of it? You know what I'm saying? Like I think some people take some things too far. Really, wild tangent there, but yeah, I just thought it was weird to mention because this guy I'm getting all this info from is super, super disappointed that there hasn't been a release date for this game. And I was like, but it's just a game. Just chill out, man.
I got one thing to say. It shouldn't be. What's the word? Don't overthink. Don't think something is. Don't have any expectations. Then your life will be fine. I've understood that from buying all
That's
these kind of games. They could become shit. And I saw that in the comment section of when the Assassin's Creed trailer was released for the new one.
Yeah.
Like people said, it's so good. It looks so sick. Like people are getting like it's really visceral and all that. But then some people are saying, like, in reply to them, it's only CGI trailer. It could be shit. It could be full of like microtransactions and all that stuff. You don't even know what's it about. I think
Mm.
it's like those just crazy stand kind of people that are obsessed about whatever new stuff that comes out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a bizarre situation with that. Um, yeah, I don't really have anything else in particular to add. So, wow. Okay, I apologize for anyone listening to this. Has just been all over the place, but that's how we do
this
it.
is the boys.
That next one, let's go. I a lot of have noticed that a lot of people are wanting racing games to happen in Japan for obvious reasons, and a lot of people, myself included, used to be excited about the idea of there being a Need for Speed game, in Tokyo or somewhere in Japan, but because they can't seem to execute how to make a decent functioning game or one that's decent and lasts, many have taken to the idea of why Forza Horizon should take the position of being the game that has a map in Japan. But I actually don't think it would be a good idea at all. I'm just being honest here. I know that that's going to ruffle some jimmies, but leave your jimmies that have been ruffled in the comments below. And I will not argue with you.
Me, bro.
And we
keep it Jimmy there.
Oh, you bet. And we can talk about it in the next, like, if I have a response to anything you guys have to say, leave a comment, yada yada, etc. You know the drill. And Stelio, you wanted to add something about why a racing game in Japan doesn't mean a whole lot if you are unaware of all that Japan encompasses. So,
No.
Here's
the thing. You can be unaware, but I feel like, if especially Need for Speed, because the whole thing is car culture. Like, think of 2015. Like, I was playing that recently, bro, and like the second cutscene, one of the guys you meet is Frederick Asbo. Like, they have people cemented in the actual car scene, like Norwegian Hammer, like I think he's a 2-time, 3-time champion of Formula D.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you see all these people, Motohoshi and all that, and it's like,
yeah, and you see the one guy from BC Motors. I don't know if you know.
BC Motors, Bishimoto.
Yes.
Like, Insane, the Drag Boys. Like, they really gave us little pieces of car culture from kind of, usually based in the US, and they gave some international, like Frederick and all that.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because it's like, with Japan, if they bottle, like, and the thing is, they could even show people, like, you could have like a little story scene where like they explain who Anija is, like Anija is himself, what he's done, and his whole group of hypercar toting fucking goons.
Mm-hmm. All that
like
stuff.
I think the greatest video of Anija-san was when he everyone in Japan said that the F40 was not able to do 300. They said, I can't do it. What does he do? Takes the F40 he has in his lot, goes out, records himself doing like 310.
Well, can't the F40 hit 200 miles per hour? Which is...
Yeah, it does.
What's that? I can't convert that in my head.
320k, right?
320.
The people in Japan, the Ferrari enthusiasts in Japan said it couldn't even hit 300, so he went out and hit 310 in it.
Yeah, that's weird.
I would prove it could. He had to like turn himself into the authorities.
Really?
Like that is a good little taste test of Japan. These guys they're different the way they behave too. And it's like what Japan is essentially. If you were to remove Japan, like if you were to like black out the equations, right? From say if you had a huge synopsis of the game, right?
Yeah.
And like some images in it. If you remove Japan or like twinked over it, would you know you're in Japan or?
Well, okay. What I was gonna say is, I don't think that having an extensive knowledge is important for it to be a good location at all.
No. I don't mean Here's the thing. In my opinion, it would be better if you came in with no knowledge, but you left knowing things that you didn't.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. Like, you would play the game, and you'll be like, I didn't even know there was a hypercar group in Japan. Besides, like, the Yakuza Lambos.
Yeah, etc.
Or like I didn't
all
even
that.
know there was like muscle cars, low riders,
Yeah, they're
like, all this
for
unique
people who
shit.
don't know, like their import scene. It's just so funny to
What
me
you
because
think
we're
about it?
used to hearing the opposite. They're import. They're like,
Dude,
oh man,
they're
look at this
importing the muscle cars.
USDM, bro.
Yeah, they are literally. Some of them are like that. You know,
Yeah.
all those accounts, they'll literally have like hashtag USD, and I'm like, bro, that
Oh,
is
that's
legitimately the flip of
ridiculous.
what. And
Yeah.
yeah, I would like because if you think about it, some people probably didn't even know what Rocket Bunny was before 2015.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people
I agree
didn't
with you.
know.
I don't think I heard of it that much, man. Also,
Yeah,
I got a take if you don't mind.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
think
Yeah.
if they do like Japan, it has to be proper Japan, not from like a Western standpoint or some other country. Because if
oh no, that's obvious. Like
yeah, because if
that's
it's like
literally the baseline.
if it's like some white guy from, let's say, Birmingham's take on it, it's not going to be exact, and it's going to be some generic piece of crap that you could get
Yeah,
from
no.
like Municipal Heat or something. It's
Yeah.
You
going
know
to
what
be
my
fake.
thing would be?
Like if you have to have everything, like you said, the culture, the way they do things, etc. Like the way they
Yeah.
had like those fake Americans in Need for Speed before, until these like actual American actors and British actors,
Mm.
which gave a more authentic experience. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I would get what you're saying.
My thing with that is you don't need to be. If anything, it should be the complete opposite. The really experienced and knowledge people in Japan scene should be making the game, and that essentially you should be able to. You should pick up a game, not know anything about the actual in-depth side of Japan's car culture, and leave it knowing, wow, they have a USDM import scene.
Yes.
They have custom body kitted wirers and shit.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what
Now-
I mean. But I mean, the actual creators to have the knowledge. Otherwise, it's just going to be America just with
well,
like.
the Bozo Toku, the Bozo.
Yeah, I see what you're saying
Oh,
there
man.
too.
It seems that if they brought back the Five Ways to Play, they'd have to include the Bozo and that shit as the outlaw
Oh,
section.
for sure.
'Cause
Yeah.
the-
Yeah, I remember. I
The
saw I
reason
saw
why
the
that
episode
whole
on it,
car.
it's not crazy.
Let's see. If I had to throw 3 car groups into Outlaw, it would be Kanjo. Obviously, that's Kanjo, Bozo, and I'd even touch on the Anija because they're like the original
Yeah, yeah,
goons and fucking hypercars.
yeah.
Becomes maniacs. There was a clip of one of them in a it was a fucking Enzo that was like body kitted doing like 230 k's in a 50 zone.
Dang.
Oh, in an Enzo.
Oh
That's
my
kitted.
gosh.
With like a
That's
custom kit. Like,
ridiculous.
what the fuck is happening here? That would be so sick to put in.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So what I was really saying was that, you know, the things that you're mentioning, you put that into the how the story of the game is designed, right? But we're talking actual map design, right? You don't have to know anything about Japan, and nor does the game have to tell you all of these things about Japan, because I'm saying just the map in and of itself
Let me put it this way.
would be sufficient because of mountain
Let me
roads,
just put it this way.
cities, whatever.
Fuck exposition. Don't explain to me that I'm in Japan. Show me.
Ooh, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
map is the greatest way to do it. Like if you're going through like like it could be named something else, but if you're like hooning tandem style through Shibuya Crossing,
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
that
maybe-
to me is like whoa.
no.
That is wild.
Maybe have the
Everyone-
AI cars reflect what you might usually see around those parts of Japan. Does that make sense?
No, that would be sick if they had because and that's a funny thing. Tokyo would be if it was a part of the map, it would be the part of the map where you see all the cars because it's the melting pot of Japan. That's where
Yeah.
all the cars go from. And if like the west side of the map would be Kansai, you would see like Kanjo, Anija, because that's where all the LED Lambos hang out in Osaka and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then the north side is the Kanjo boys. And Okinawa, like the bottom, it's real interesting because that would be kind of like you know how in the Keys you have to drive over like the ocean, you get to there. It would be
Yeah.
kind of like that. That's how you get there, and it would be kind of nice. It'd be like some test drive unlimited vibes because along the coastline.
Yeah.
Okinawa is beautiful.
No, I
for
was
that
thinking
shit.
of
If only a developer would actually do this properly with justice, because I have
Yeah.
no expectations.
It-
and
it-
I don't think anyone could do it.
And you
not
know what's
even
funny about Need for
Content.
Speed? Remember? Need for Speed, EA. Remember, EA owns Speed Hunters. They have enough source content
they
and
do.
people to ask
They
there.
100% do.
Sit in a room with Dino, the fucking photographer, and just ask West Japan's car culture like? What is East Japan's? What's South? What's North?
Yeah,
And then just
they
bullet point that.
easily could. They won't. But I wanted to circle this back to, I guess, the original thing I was mentioning, which is that I don't think Forza Horizon would be a good place. Or no, I don't think Japan would be a good place for Forza Horizon. And the reason well, let me rephrase. I think they could do it fairly decently, and you could have a fairly decent experience, but it would not feel like Japan to the fullest, because so much of their car culture and other stuff is tied with street racing, and Horizon does not do street racing justice. Does not at all.
Fuck no.
You'll have great driving roads, that's for sure.
Yo,
You'll have
go
ahead.
I disagree with something. The Kanjo, they're not just known to drive on the highways doing illegal shit. They also go to track days.
Yeah, that's true.
The way
but
Horizon could do Japan
I still
nicely
think
would be like, you'd be on the tracks and that, and then they'll be like, yo, you wanna come out with us when the sun goes down? You wanna hit these roads?
yeah, what were you saying, Sol?
Isn't that basic? It needs to be heat then, but like if done better, if they don't.
Yeah, it could, and also here's the thing, I haven't really felt anything that, or okay, I need to rephrase. I don't think that Forza Horizon does a good job of the track day experience. It's just this weird. It doesn't feel like anything. It does not feel it. I don't see very clear and obvious themes. Right, the first game made me feel like I was part of a festival. It didn't feel like a track, like Pro Street. That's where it feels like you're having track days, but not Forza. So that part is missing, and the street racing is just abysmal. And to be honest, in the first game it was mediocre at best. I think the first Horizon game did do it a little bit better, because you would have hideouts and you'd have to go to them, and even like little details like dialect of explaining what car restrictions you have to enter the street races is different. Just little minute details, but it didn't fully feel like street racing. But if we're talking about modern Forza Horizon, it doesn't feel anywhere close to street racing. So
I think it links what we talked about before. I mean, they've kind of dumbed down the game a lot, so everyone can join. So then it hasn't got any identity at all. Remember when you're talking about how Need for Speed, it's never been about League of Racing specifically, because you have the borders and all that stuff on the road. But I understand what I mean. It doesn't feel like anything. I actually just go in it just to drive around the countryside or whatever once or twice.
Yeah.
Talking about identity of a game is very. I feel like people. I don't know. It's so important to a game for it to have an identity.
Yeah,
Like,
it definitely is.
or not even just the actual, but the way the game works. Like I feel like with, and because this is something I've noticed with Tekken, they're dumbing down everything. They're dumbing it down, and because the thing is, Tekken's whole thing was it was a. That was fucking so. It bullies the fuck out of any players, but his whole identity is that. Like, you know how in, say, like most 2D fighter games, it's like, oh, if they duck, I can do this. Or if they like do this attack, I can do that. Well, in Tekken, it's like, oh, if they do this huge attack, I can either duck low and punish, I can either sidestep and punish, I can parry and punish.
You have multiple options.
There's no one option. There's like A through D.
Okay.
And you need to, and some are better than others. Like, there might be 2 that don't work, but 3 that do. But out of the 3, you got to, in half a second, do the correct one. It's essentially like that, and they're slowly starting to dumb it down. People say, yeah, dumbing down Tekken is bad, because that's what makes Tekken unique. It's its identity.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if Midnight Club came back, but then they had closed circuits like early era Need for Speed games, and that would just kill my man.
No, you can go back. Rockstar. You can go back to GTA 5. Thank you.
Yeah, but like we don't have to worry about that, because Midnight Club's never gonna come back. So hooray!
And if anything, I even said what the when I was talking to the Canvas CJ and them, like, cannibalize Rockstar. Like, the things that made Midnight Club good, other devs should be taking them.
Yeah,
like,
but
they're not going to use them. Like how the crew has bikes. Like, if Need for Speed was in Japan, imagine like the crazy shit you could do with the bikes. And you know how there's character customization. because and I'd love if you could have on like the bike helmets the little ear vents.
Ooh, yeah.
That's so unique to that culture. The little ear vents on the top. Those are cool.
That sounds
100%.
pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
You know,
I honestly think if Need for Speed was to do Japan just as far the culture goes, good physics, not, and the story doesn't have to be good. Just have it
it be
just
kind
at
of like
least,
2015, a little bit.
Yeah, I'll say 2015 isn't even that bad. The only problem with 2015 is that the characters are just the actual
Yeah.
basis isn't bad. Like
Yeah,
Travis isn't that bad.
it's
Travis
a
is probably the
somewhat
best of them.
realistic story.
Yeah,
Make
like
the argument.
you could even say among some of the fucking cringy members that's like a highly realistic story. Like, remove that specific dialogue and homies meeting up at a dine-in there or like another spot. I'm like, okay, let's go like race. That's
Yeah,
disturbingly real. They
that
got that
is.
real well.
Yeah,
It's literally like you'll just be chilling like, yo,
you know,
it out in a second.
but other than Need for Speed, if Midnight Club was around, I think they would do Tokyo perfectly, or Japan. Well, because they already did. They already did. But like a
They did
bigger
it
map.
in 2000. They in this current age they would do Japan a lot of
Oh
justice.
my gosh. Yeah, 100%. They would knock it out of the park.
I
And-
still think it was sick how if you think about it, and you probably played the game. Do you remember the names, or should I just talk about the? Okay, so remember the Psycho XS, the fucking
Oh, Kenichi?
The Supra.
yeah, Kenichi. Oh, okay, yeah, you know the names, Kenichi. So
Yeah.
fucking that motherfucker. His car, the Psycho XS, it's a Supra, and Haley has the base model.
Yeah,
right?
the normal one, yeah.
He has the model of the Supra, which is funny enough. That is I think I've said that's a real kit. That's Abflug S900. It's not just a kit. It's a full tuning
I
package.
did see. I think you posted it somewhere earlier, but yeah. They actually, did use some real world inspiration with that.
Yeah, and then Makoto, his fucking
The R34, yeah, that's
Valve-
also
that's
another.
the drag valve side one, the straight drag
Yeah.
valve side kit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's sick. Like, and once again talking about Need Speed, bro. I even if Veilside and Evflug, like, trust me, if the basis is they wouldn't agree with street racing, bro, they were street racing. Those tuning shops.
Yeah,
were the
they
ones
knew what they're
involved.
doing. They knew their market, their target demographic.
Evflug and Veilside. Well, can't prove it, anything, which is good, honestly, for them. Veilside and Evflug were members of Midnight. Just,
You heard it here first.
like, it's documented.
Unfortunately, I think they just
Hey,
kind of
it's
fuck up.
hilarious.
Just drop the ball again. The millionth time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it's
That-
depressing. James, please.
They still have an expectations, man. Live your life like that. I think you'll be fine.
Wow, Soul, you going through some kind of nihilism or something? Just don't expect anything ever, and you won't be disappointed. Honestly,
No,
you're not even
in the
wrong.
game-
You're
in the
not
gaming
even
space-
wrong.
In the gaming phase,
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, for games.
No,
but...
no, you can pick the So there's three options you can go with this. You can say, don't expect anything, like nihilism, apathy type deal, right?
Mm.
And or you can go pessimistic, like you expect dog shit, it's gonna be trash. Or you can be optimistic, be like, I hope it's gonna be good, please.
Yeah,
Like,
you know,
That was like me for Need for Heat, man. I regret it. That was a bad thought.
my one was like, I hope it be's good. Oh my, what? I hope it be's. I hope it's good.
Yeah,
Fuck,
I
don't
just-
think so. That was my thing. I
Man.
don't know.
I still
Like,
enjoyed
which
the
needs
like.
to think.
I've said this a billion times already. I still think it was a good thing when it first was out, but just needed work. Honestly, no,
Yeah,
it was good for the time period because nowadays I don't see very many complete experiences, or I don't experience very many complete experiences. I'll say that.
No, yo,
Coming
what-
from
yo,
Ghost
getting
games, I
a
was like, okay,
complete-
this is decent for Ghost
Yo,
games.
that's a crazy sentence. Getting a complete experience, but not experience a complete experience. Wait, how's that?
I don't know what I said.
No,
No, I
think the
know what
only
you
thing
said.
that
I know what you
encompasses
mean,
that-
but it's like, how are you gonna say, here's a complete experience, and it's like, or actually,
Well,
the
actually, it's
example is, I think the remake of Resident Evil 2, like, complete experience, like, bro, you've cut half the game.
Yeah,
What the
that's
hell
for
you
sure
mean?
isn't.
I think
That's
that's why people are hyped up for Cyberpunk because they know that dev is going to be has made slightly games before. They worked really hard on this, and they've said it's gonna have a good story. It's not gonna be any BS with microtransactions and all that. And people know it's gonna be of some decent quality. So I think if developers just go back to that kind of base, they'll be sorted, man. That's all I can
Yeah,
think of.
but it's so rare and hard to find that kind of mentality. So it's just really unfortunate, but that's just kind of what it is. Um, that's it's really sad, but other than CD Projekt Red, Nintendo, and indie developers, and some other AAA developers, I can't think of very many who can who you can rely on to make good experiences every now and then. But it is what it is. Um, Actually, I want to head back to Forza in Japan really quick. So, another thing I wanted to mention was that cities have always been either extremely small or just not worth exploring in Horizon. Extremely, extremely small. Like Edinburgh, it is pitiful. Uh, Surfer's Paradise. I felt the same way. I remember being so excited for Forza Horizon 3 about Surfer's Paradise. And I saw footage of it, and I didn't think anything of it. And I was so excited, and the game came out. I was like, "This is it." And even with Edinburgh, and I know some people are like, "Oh no, Edinburgh is a good size. It's a proper city." What I actually did, I actually tried to make an event with the route creator. I would put the checkpoints in vague locations, and I try. You want to know how much of a loon I am for Midnight Club? I tried to make a Midnight Club styled race in Forza with the route creator, and it didn't work because the city is so tiny and like so specific with the roads and bridges and stuff, so you can't really have that many shortcuts, or maybe I'm just not creative enough for that. But in any case, after trying that, I realized, wow, the city is really sad, and that's why I don't spend a lot of time in there in Forza. So if they were to do Japan, Tokyo would just be so tiny that it would not it would feel like 1/128th of the city. Like that's how big. That's me being generous there. And then yeah, you'd have the countryside. Yeah, you'd have the mountain roads, like maybe two at the most, and then their Forza map. So from a map perspective, I don't think it would do it justice, and from a story perspective, it 1,000,000% won't do it justice. And it won't even do it in terms of this idea we had of, oh, what if the AI would drive cars that would reflect? No, because the Drivatar system just means it'll match whatever kind of classification that you're driving. You're driving a retro supercar, you see other retro supercars driving around. So I really think Forza Horizon in Japan, unless they majorly change their design philosophy with how they're making the games, it would just not be a good idea, in my opinion. And I know for some that's a bit of a hot take, but I don't really care, and it's also just a video game. And it's also we're talking about a video game that in a place, and it hasn't happened yet because there is no Forza Horizon in Japan. So if you're upset at me, just realize where you failed in life and just stop and just lie down and rot. That is my positive message for today.
Failed in life. Fucking hell.
I gotta add just a little bits of like you know what I'm doing. People okay. Someone's listening.
If you paid full price for Need for Speed Heat, seek help, please.
You see, I don't actually mean these things, but to the three people watching this who fell asleep. This is to wake them up. You know, like hey, it's still happening by the way. Yeah.
Live.
I just don't think Forza or Japan and Forza Horizon would be an amazing idea. I think they would have to make a lot of changes.
The map would be amazing though.
No, but like no, the not the cities. Like that was the point I was trying to make. The countryside would be great, and there would be some mountain passes, but then the cities would just be pitifully small. You know they would be.
100%.
Yeah, so
that's my argument. It's like Forza doesn't do cities the best.
Yeah,
and you want to be downtown industrial area Japan doing them fat skits. I don't think Forza will do that the best.
Yeah, no, they won't. unless they
No, I
make
can
some
put my
major
take on that.
changes.
What if, because obviously the new generation's coming out soon, then cities are like that because of the
Oh.
limitations right now, especially
Hmm.
with these the consoles with the weak house laptop CPUs in them.
Well, if you consider a map like Burnout Paradises coming out in 2008 on
I'm
a
on about with
generation
with
ago,
with
right?
with the details
I don't
Forza has
like.
and
Okay,
stuff. But again,
I'm no game
I've
developer, but I'll give you my take on why I think. I think that they create maps that don't have big cities because for the most part people are driving really crazy, stupid high horsepower X-Class S2, S1 cars that are really fast and you don't really have a lot of fun with that in a city. You
Can't drive
want
those in
you
the
want
city.
big
I think
roads
I've
to
got
open them up and
I
so
think I've
because
got
of that.
another point as well. I
Oh, go
think
ahead.
it's because the world's made to be open world, right? So you can literally drive anywhere you want. And in a city or whatever,
Yeah.
people get pissed off. Why can't I off-road there? Why can't I do this? You know what I mean?
Why can't I
Dude,
off-road in the
it's
city?
hilarious. Why can't I off-road in the city? I don't know, bro. You're on asphalt.
Oh my gosh. Like honestly, so okay, you're making a good point, but it's absolutely hilarious because there is a little bit of there is truth to that. Like I could see the average like
I feel like
eight 9-year-old.
a lot of modern games right now want to make like open world, do this, do that.
Yeah,
But I don't
everything
think
has to be
many
open
games
world these
need it.
days.
Look at these. That was shit compared to like some other ones, and they could have
Hmm.
focused more time on actually fixing stuff than just making it everywhere to go and do what you want.
Yeah, it's I don't know what's this obsession with an open world. Not
No,
many
you know what my
games do
thing
it
is?
justice.
You can make it open if you design the actual roads around it, but I don't need to. I don't need to drive in the in the cornfields, bro.
Yes.
Like it was sick in the run, like when you got your tier 5 current blasted through that shortcut in the corner. But like I don't need to do that just because I wanna or
Yeah.
drive through the cornfields. I'm in the maze.
Yeah. I just
Motherfuckers.
it's I don't get
You
it.
know what
I
you
don't
can
get the
do?
obsession.
You can give the illusion because your map design is so well. Like remember
I think your audio cut out, so I'm not hearing what you're saying.
in the world.
All right. Yeah, again, your audio cut out for a big chunk of time there, so I wasn't able to catch what you're saying.
Windows update. Stop.
What's going on? You good?
Windows update. Stop.
Oh.
Windows. We're gonna do that right now. Yeah. Okay, man.
Wow. The Microsoft is censoring you, man. That's what's happening.
Bruh,
It's all a
They heard me
conspiracy.
talking shit about Horizon. Yeah,
Oh,
it was-
yes, they did. Yes, sir.
Oh
Are
my
you able
God.
to repeat the stuff you said then because of the censoring?
Say what?
Will you be able to repeat what you said now that you've
Yeah.
posted it?
Yeah.
Oh
Because
yeah. Oh, done it again.
Oh my gosh. You know what? This is the best episode we've ever had. For sure. The random
Microsoft,
tangents,
go, go,
Microsoft
Mr. Gates.
attacking. Man.
Mr. Gates, relax.
You can put that as a thumbnail, man. That's
That's
quite funny.
Stop.
Oh, man.
Okay, I think it stopped.
Okay.
He's coming for me, man.
All right.
He's silent, real shit. But no, what I said was you can give the feeling that because here's the thing, there's where Horizon where it is really everything is open world.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you Billy boy,
Oh, wow.
Richard.
This
Gates.
is not going to end well. Okay. So, you know what? How about, okay, type that in the Discord. And then, Soul, either you or I, we're going to try to reiterate what it is you're saying. And then
No,
what's going to
I'll say it-
happen?
I'll say it now.
All right, go for it.
He's sleeping. He's on his recovery. He's cool down before his ultimate. So essentially, what I meant was you can give the feeling that a map is open without it actually being open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Midnight
I
Club 2 maps, like it
Exactly.
feels open.
Like
Go
I was about to
pop.
mention that if Bill Gates kept trying to censor you, I was gonna mention that it can be open via having the roads give you that impression because of how many different connecting routes you can make and all this stuff, and
Once again, it's like
you
was,
can do it
the
well. You
ticket.
just have to do it
You
well.
have options A through D. Like I'd love to have like 5 options of where I could turn off here, and one of them
Yeah.
might be the faster route.
It's like
100%.
those old PS2 games, like let's say you had a small cut-off place, but then you see the background of a sweeping landscape. That would still give you the same feel as if you were there.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
You could
that's true. That's true.
you could say like it needs to be the run. It's obviously like quite a linear game, but then you see the background and it still looks cool, especially like when in the cornfields and you're dashing down the road at 200 miles per hour.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
what
just a really
about
good experience without
in
actually being free
2015?
roam. Yeah,
In 2015, how there was all those buildings in the background where you couldn't go.
But you couldn't
the
get there.
downtown.
I felt
That's
built up
great.
though.
See, that is you would think that's a decent way of doing what you just said ish.
Give the feeling, the impression that it's open world. You don't have
Yeah.
to actually do it. You just have to do good map design. Do good.
You know, like I think I would classify it. You can have a closed track racer, and you can have a closed world race. Like that's how I would describe something like Need for Speed 2015, Underground 2, Most Wanted, Carbon, etc.
2015. Since I've been playing it recently, I love that map. It's great.
Yeah, I like the map too, but the game doesn't really
It's
use
not,
the open
it
world a
does
whole
feel
lot.
like a closed map.
Yeah,
You
it's
are
closed,
right.
but
Linear.
I think for what it's trying to do, it's half decent, and it doesn't try to make everything like so open where you can drive across everywhere, but that means they can like kind of pack more content in the city and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, do you want an open world or like a densely packed fucking?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then again, it still isn't to the level of something like Midnight Club or Burnout Paradise, where you have those where every race is just a point A to point B, and it has the same aspect of Midnight Club where you pick your own route to get there, right? That is another, I think, in my opinion, like a truly open world experience. Now, then
I've got
again,
another take
it's
on
not.
that. I can expand on afterwards.
Oh, go ahead. What do you say?
So obviously everyone knows about the PS5 and the new Xbox. And remember, in the Mark Cerny YouTube video where everyone hated, he's talking about the SSD and how like in games
Oh,
prior to this, like they had to do those weird kind of level designs to hide the
yeah.
stuff loading up in it. And obviously in an open world, it's going to be a bit of a challenge because it's open world, and you allegedly can go everywhere at once without any loading. And I'm guessing some open worlds are built to do that in it because like you have massive like buildings hiding the rest. Like you could say, like in Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005, there's that like massive airport and you can only see the buildings around it and stuff. And at the place like that probably to mask the actual loading. So with the new
I didn't
SSDs
think
and
about
stuff,
that.
that could change game design anyway. And as I said, with new tech and stuff, they can go way beyond because now the actual stuff in the new system are the same specs as high-end PCs now. So they got really no limits that I can think of. For the
Yeah,
next few years anyway.
I could definitely see a combination of a tightly packed map with, I guess, the openness of a very open map like Forza Horizon. But then it really also is kind of like a game design decision because how much time and energy is that going to take to make that, yada yada. But there is a point to be made with that. I don't think very many studios are going to use that to its fullest potential. No, I think a lot are, but I don't think the ones that I would like to see use them
Not
to
at the
their
start
potential
anyway.
will.
Not at the start anyway.
Yeah.
When the tech is quite new.
Yeah, what I mean is I don't think Playground Games and Criterion and such and so forth, Ivory Tower, are going to make use of that much. I don't have faith in them to do that. But, maybe for other games. Because, racing games, it's now such a C tier kind of form of entertainment. If we're really thinking about like what makes money and what's important to them and publishers, all of this new technology is got to benefit us either many years down the line after the fact or not at all. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen, but I'm not really afraid. I just don't care anymore. All I gotta say. I don't even know what I was talking about anymore. Man, this episode's good. All right, so if there's anything else you guys want to add, I think we are pretty close to wrapping it up here. So, anything else you guys want to add? All right, I'll take that as a no. More awkward silence. Let's go. So, if you like this, leave a comment, etc. And we will see you guys all in the next one.